Well, welcome everybody. I'm Mark Love with Transwest Truck Trailer RV, and we're coming to you today from the 2023 Newmar Dealer Show. Basically, they're showing everybody the new 24 products. So what we're in right now is a Ventana 4369, and the Ventana is the product that got the facelift this year. New caps, new interior colors, a lot of nice new features that we'll be going over as we go through this coach. So let's go ahead, and I want to start out back in the bathroom with this coach. Now, the 4369 has always been one of the best sellers. With these 43-foot floor plans, you get the bigger bathroom, the larger showers, and one of the nice features is you get the double sinks. So they've got some very unique new vessel sinks this year. You see the chrome look on the outside. By the way, the color inside is the Newport. The cabinets are the Newport glazed maple, and this is the high gloss finish to it. I've gone back and forth between matte and high gloss, but I have to admit, I really like this. This is a beautiful coach, and with all their new cabinet doors, all of their compartment doors, everything's got a new look to it, a new look to the air conditioner covers and things like that. So we'll point those out as we go around. But for the most part, the 4369 hasn't structurally changed. You can see you've got a large wardrobe back here, plenty of shelf space. You can actually remove those shelves if you want a little more wardrobe area. You have a safe back there, and you might notice a ladder there, and we'll talk about that. A overhead bunk up front is one of the new features. Newmar, a few years back, added their egress door, and this is a great feature. It's very easy to hop out. You pull this panel, a ladder comes down. If there's ever an emergency where you've got to get out fast, this is the best and the fastest way to do it. We also, oops, I showed you that already. We have a washer dryer. I'm going to slip behind you here and kind of work our way forward. We have the stackable Splendide washer and dryer. And across from that, you get the large shower. This is the 43-inch shower, new one-piece surround. The showers in the Newmar are kind of unique. I'm going to go ahead and sit in here. The teak seat has been kept in the 4369, but it's been eliminated in a lot of the other floor plans. But the larger ones, you can still get it. But what I want to point out here is the Aquamizer. It's a unique feature that helps save your fresh water and prevents you from filling up your gray tank too fast. Basically, while you're waiting for the water to heat up, it's recirculating back into the freshwater tank. You push this button to get started. Once it turns red, it lets you know that the water's hot. You flip the switch, then you take your shower. So by doing that, you're not filling the gray tank, and you're not wasting your fresh water while you're waiting for it to warm up. And look at the size of this. Now, I'm not a big person, but you know, if you're 6'4", 6'5", you can stand in here and take a shower quite easily. There's not a lot of coaches that can say that. Oop. All right, I like the dual towel racks right here. You know, you're always wondering where you put them when you come out of the shower, and they don't really provide a place, so putting them on the door is a great idea. As we back out here into the bedroom, we've got all new bedding here, and there's actually a new mattress with it this year. Of course, you do get storage underneath, and it's not a lot, but you've got a couple of your folding chairs for the dinette. There are opening windows on both sides, and also both sides you have the pedestal with a little bit of storage, and you get your 110 outlets and some USB ports right there. If you have a sleep apnea machine or an oxygen machine at night, it doesn't matter what side of the bed you sleep on, there's a place for it on both sides. And then also up under here, you do have some controls, so I might forget to turn out my lights at night. I can turn them all off right here, or I can just shut off my reading lights. But it's nice to have this when you get into bed. You don't have to hop out and turn out all of the lights. And then also, as part of the facelift, you've got a new headboard with the Ventanas. They also have new window treatments throughout. They just did a great job, like Newmar always does when they, you know, every 4 or 5 years, they kind of give a couple of models a new look, a facelift, and they really did a great job with the Ventanas this year. Across from the bed, we have our, this is a 43-inch TV in the bedroom. We have a couple of wardrobe closets. So this floor plan actually has about as much hanging clothes storage, wardrobe storage that you're going to find anywhere. Not only the full closet in the back, but two nice large ones here. We have 5 pull-out drawers, and all of these do have the soft close feature. And then, of course, on this side, this top compartment's usually reserved for video components. The fact that you don't see a DVD player in here now, or satellite, has to do with a lot of people using streaming services now. So we can still add the satellite boxes and so forth, but they don't come standard anymore. Then you get one more drawer down there. While I'm here and thinking about it, let's get a shot of the tile flooring. This is a new tile flooring for 2024, and it's a matte surface. A lot of people say, I don't like the shiny ones because my dog slips on them. This is a great looking floor here. Now as we move forward, we've got the half bath right here. And again, you've got plenty of counter space there, which you don't have in a lot of these half bathrooms. I'm just going to open up the cabinets and then step out of the way, let you get a look at it here. All of these bathrooms do have a fantastic fan overhead. You do have a heat vent. And like I say, right here on the counter, you've got a lot of room here. And the small bathrooms, sometimes that's a problem. That's why they use these vessel sinks to actually give you more space around it. Okay. Now, right here is another change they made this year. This is a 10-inch your Silverleaf monitor, and they moved it from the overhead cabinet to the middle of the coach. It's a lot easier to access here. Most of this pretty much the same. You have your home screen, you can access your lights there, your auto gen start. One thing I like is they put your Oasis controls right here. And as I pointed out before, the Oasis is similar to the AquaHot, but it's a more efficient, quieter burning system. And if you notice, there's 2 electric elements here. Basically, you can heat this in a little bit colder weather than you can with other coaches. Because of that dual electric element, you don't have to turn on your propane quite so fast. And then, of course, you can get into your lighting and go to each individual room to turn them on and off, or you can turn all your lights off from this panel as you're going out the door. Okay, across from the half bathroom here, we've got our refrigerator and our pantry storage. And you know, this is, you got to push in on those to release them. This is a big pantry area. What do you got? Six shelves there, and they're very deep. As you can see, they pull out all of the way. And then next to that, we do have our residential 19-foot refrigerator. Now, another change for 2024, on your 43-foot models, the all-electric option is standard. That means you get the residential refrigerator, you get the 8 AGM batteries, and you get the induction cook surface as a standard option now. Okay, let's move up to the kitchen and see a nice deep dual stainless steel sink. It's an undermount sink. You do have a residential style sprayer there. You can see in your overhead cabinets, you've got a little pull out. This makes it nice for anybody that maybe is a little bit vertically challenged. You can reach the back of your, your cupboard there by pulling that drawer out. And again, this is the Newport glazed maple, and it is the high gloss finish. And one of the things you're going to find, you don't have wrap styles back here. This is all solid wood throughout. Okay, and then under the sink, we do get a little bit of a storage tray there, maybe for your scrubbies or your dish soap, something like that. We've got a little compartment drawer there, some nice storage underneath. It gives you a place for your trash can, place to put all of your covers when you are cooking. And I'll just put these down here for now. One of the things that I'll point out, the back of your cooktop has a cutting board. And I think people are afraid to use these. When we get them in trade, these are virtually brand new. They've never been used as a cutting board. But what I wanted to show you here is your true induction cook surface. Now, true induction, any metallic pan, anything a magnet will stick to will work with this. And that includes your cast iron. You can pull this out, unplug it, take it out in your patio, under your awning, and cook outside with these. I'll just leave that like that. Okay, we do have a large convection microwave. Like pretty much all motorhomes anymore, you don't find an oven very often. But below your microwave, you do have a dishwasher. And of course, these you need your 110 power on to open them up. And then right here you have a large silverware and utensil drawer. You can see all your remote controls for your TVs, for your awnings and everything is right here. You do have your wrench for your water filter outside. And they always give you a little bit of the touch-up paint. These are the 4 colors that are on the outside, which happens to be the Camden exterior on this one. This is an extension. I can push this back in. I'm not going to do it right now because we've got it all set up. But it gives you extra counter space when you're prepping a meal. And even the drawers in this, you see they're full pull-out drawers. They are soft close. And in the past, you used to see a drawer that was maybe half this wide, and the front drawer front covered most of it, but it was a narrow drawer. These are very practical, very large, gives you a lot of room for storage. And then we do have a couple more spots for storage, maybe spices or something over their head. It's not a real deep one, but here you get another cabinet for your dishes or whatever you want to use it for. One of the things I do like to point out also is if you look at this whole bank of cabinets, you notice it's not a straight flat run. Newmar does a great job of giving it a little bit of contour. In fact, over here, because this counter sticks out a little more, I can get my belly right up to it without hitting my head. Whereas it's extended all the way down here, I would probably be banging into the cabinet. So they just do a great job of giving it a little bit of a designer look in their cabinets by these offsets and the crown molding up above. Okay, as we move down, this particular coach has the fold and tumble. There is a hide-a-bed here, a queen size hide-a-bed, and that's typically what you're going to have when they put in the theater seating or the recliners across. Otherwise, your hide-a-bed would be on the driver's side. And then over here, I'll just briefly open these cabinets and again show you you've got some storage here. You've got room for video components or your satellite receivers. Everything comes with a sound bar now. Your standard 50-inch TV is on a televator. And then across from your couch, we have our theater seating. Now, these are actually very comfortable. Great location right across from the TV. Be easy for me to take a nap right here, I'd say. You do get a couple of cup holders and a nice storage compartment here. So if you want a place to put your you know, your remote controls or your magazines or things like that. You've got room right here. And then our dinette here, this is the buffet dinette combo, they call it. So you get two of the standard chairs, and this is a new design, a new look for this year. In fact, we have new colors and new villa furniture throughout. This dinette table does extend out. And you saw under our bed we had a couple of folding chairs that match. And then we do have some more storage underneath. A little bit down here. And then the other side, you've got the same over here, a pull-out drawer and some underneath storage. And then in the overhead here, these three cabinets, if you notice, are open all the way. It's nice for getting longer items in there. Over here, these cabinets are a little bit deeper, just the way the contour comes out. And it's really kind of amazing how much room you have here. When you start packing for going on a trip, you don't realize how deep these are. It's actually about 16 to 18 inches deep right there. Let me go ahead and shut these. Now, I mentioned that they have new doors, they have new cabinet fronts this year, new flooring this year. Even your pocket doors here have a new look to them. And then they also have, I love the color of the wallboard here, new backsplash. So they've really done a lot to give this coach a facelift. Also these overhead decorative ceiling panels. Of course, this covers up your air conditioning ducts. One thing about Newmar is they run their ductwork straight down the middle. When you're in Texas in the middle of July and it's 110 degrees and your slides are in, you can turn on your generator and your air conditioner and it's blowing straight down here. It's not blowing out over the slide outs. So great feature, and it's ductwork in there. It's not just channeled out of the styrofoam, so it's a much more efficient system there. That's all part of the Newmar culture, or when you know the difference. The few things they do different than other manufacturers make this one of the true quality coaches you're going to find in the RV industry. We'll talk about a few more things once we get outside with that. Okay, let's move up to the dash real quickly before we... Oh, I forgot. One of the big new features this year is an overhead bunk. So anything in the Ventana, Country Star, or any of your gas coaches has this option. And as you can see, it's not just a small single bunk. This is almost double wide. Any adult could sleep up there quite easily. And it's just a push of a button for it to go up and down. And this is where that ladder would hang that you saw back in the closet. And when I heard they were doing that, I thought, well, geez, you're going to miss all your storage that you have up front. But you can see they do have a little bit of room up here. So what we've got here is our Everest. This is our Wi-Fi with a router. And then we have a lot of our controls here as far as our security lights, our awning, our slide-out controls. This is where we would turn our inverter in and off. In the past, if you recall, they had the monitor right here for your Silverleaf system. They've moved that to the middle of the coach and made it a bigger monitor. So, you don't have quite as many controls here, but you do have all your awning controls if you want to run that in and out. Of course, awnings are 110 volts, so you need to be plugged in or have your inverter or generator on. And then they also have new driver and passenger seats. Now, standard for the passenger is the same size as the driver, but you can get what we call the grandmother, or what I call the grandmother seat, or the oversized seat. Excuse me, just trying to adjust myself a little bit. There we go. Now, we don't have the keys here. I can't show you everything, but you've got your two monitors. One, your monitor and your navigation, and then your radio. You do get the Sirius XM radio. These are wired for Apple CarPlay. You've got all your camera controls right here at your dash. Another thing, if you notice right above the dash there on the window, that's our on-guard collision avoidance system, which is an option this year for the Ventana, but they did make your automatic traction control and your electronic stability control standard features now on the Ventana. You also get the 360 camera. We don't have things up and going and it's not started, so I'll demonstrate that in another video. But other than that, you know, the dash hasn't changed. There's a new look to it, but the controls are the same. Over here on your left, you've got your battery boost, your automatic traction control override, your air horn switch. On your engine brake, you've always had the 3-speed engine brake here. Tag dump, you want to leave that on auto most of the time when you're traveling. And then your electronic levelers are right here. Now, one thing about this particular unit, we do have manual shades, MCD shades, but your front is electric. I usually, when I'm traveling, have these at a height that I can reach without having to stand up and grab them. And again, this is the Spartan K2 chassis with the 8.9 liter engine. Why don't we step outside, point out some of the new features on the exterior of this. Okay, like I mentioned, this is the Camden exterior, and being a life cycle change for the Ventanas this year, they get new front caps, new rear caps. They also have brighter headlights this year. As we walk down the side, there's a couple of things I always like to point out about the Newmars. First of all, these grab handles are very heavy duty. You get the push button entrance here with your doorbell, but you'll find that as you're going in and out of the coach, you use these a lot, and over time, a lot of them loosen up. This is about as solid as you get. You know, every now and then, every 5 years or so, you may have to tighten a screw, but for the most part, even the heaviest of people can pull themselves up without any trouble, and I find the older I get, the more I use them. Another feature that I've always liked to point out about Newmar, this is your fuel tank here. You see they've got them taped off, but behind where this fuel line runs, and I'll see if you can hear it, they have a steel plate that protects that fuel line going in. If you're ever to shred your front tire, if you had a blowout and this thing started coming loose, it could tear up that fuel line. So having that steel plate to protect your fuel line, it's one of the things that I'm surprised more companies aren't doing it. There are some other ones that do. But again, part of the Newmar slogan, when you know the difference, and that's one of the things they're talking about right there. Let's just briefly take a look at our outside compartments. Another change they made this year, and this has been an ongoing change, is your bulb seal for your storage compartments. You used to have to slam these kind of hard to get them to close. Last year they started with the Dutch Star changing those. Now the Ventana has the new seals throughout, so they're much easier to close. You can see here we've got full pull-out tray, and this will pull out from either side. And while we're down here, this is a good place to talk about the Star Foundation. So what that is, this structure right here, this is something that Newmar welds on to their Spartan and Freightliner chassis. The way they gusset this back in, support the outside of the compartments, and if you notice, your floor rails, your floor joists, they're a couple inches above your chassis rails. The beauty of that is you don't get the twisting and the tweaking as you go down the road and hit a big chuck hole or something like that. So it makes for a more stable platform. It allows Newmar to run the tile all the way back into the bathroom, where several other coaches will be using carpet or linoleum or something in the bathroom. You don't have your tile cracking, you don't have your grout popping out because of that star foundation. And again, when you know the difference, the way Newmar takes this raw Spartan chassis and does their own star foundation, it just makes it a smoother ride, a better driving situation all the way around. Okay, one more compartment here with the slide out tray, and this is only about 3/4 deep. You can see we've got our Oasis back there on the other side. They do give you extra floor tiles throughout. Here is your sprayer, that is your air hose that you can hook into your quick connect on your compressor, which is up in the front compartment by the generator. That way you can fill your tires, fill your toys, things like that. We do have a central vacuum throughout. Those are your hoses and attachments. You can plug in right here to vacuum your outside compartments. And then inside there's also a place for you to plug in and have those working. Let me get this. Excuse me, we got some lights plugged in here because of the show, so normally we wouldn't have that. And then one more compartment here. You do have some components, holding tanks and so forth behind here. But I like this pegboard because you can use it for tools, for storage. You could even, put a rack in there. It's actually quite a useful storage compartment. As we take a look at our rear tires here, and you'll notice they've got two different hubs on them. The reason is this is a steerable tag axle. This here is a fixed axle, or drive axle. Now on the Spartan, you get a 17-degree turn, on that rear axle, which makes it much easier, when you're backing into a tight spot, when you're pulling into your campground, you're not scrubbing your tires so much with this steerable tag. And then let's move back here. We've got another compartment here with our chassis batteries. These are our master chassis shutoff. We've got our air dryer here, our water separator, fuel filters. Everything is right here, easy to access. A couple of things I didn't mention on the outside. First of all, we do have the roof mount Girard awnings. We're inside and we're not going to open them up right now, but those are full length awnings. Every slide out's got a slide topper on them, and Newmar builds their slides to be flush slides. And you can kind of see what that means right here on your emergency door. All of the slide outs, they actually nest inside the wall. And the nice thing about this is you're going down the road, and if it's a driving rainstorm, water can get in there and behind the seal. Typically, you're going to have a fascia that overhangs like this, and it's a spot for water and wind to get in. It's a noisier ride from that wind. So all of their slide outs are flush wall slides. It just, again, goes back to when you know the difference. You have a quieter ride here. You have 16-inch on-center framing with aluminum studs. So these are built just like a house with 2.5-inch thick walls. When you come out on a really kind of a cold or frosty morning, you can actually see the outline of the studs down the wall. And where other companies might put in a window and just basically clamp it into the vacuum bonded wall, Newmar has it framed all the way around. Headers with your jack studs, just like you would a house. And again, it just makes for a quieter coach when you're driving, better insulated, cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Part of some of the things Newmar does differently. Marker lights throughout, there's about 6 of them, I believe, 3 on each side. We don't have a lot of room here, but we do have a new rear cap. This is the ISL. It's the 8.9 liter Cummins engine. It's a 400 horsepower, and that's going to develop about 1,200 foot-pounds of torque. Then, of course, with the Spartan, you get your 2-inch receiver, and you do get your hookup for your brake controller right here. So you've got your air chuck right there, 7-way. You're all set up for towing. Most people have a small vehicle behind them, so if you're using a Blue Ox or an Air Force One system, braking system, you're all set up to go right there. So once again, this is the 2024 Ventana 4369. We'll be seeing them at dealers later this year, probably in the fall. They'll start arriving. But if you have any questions, please reach out to us. Once again, my name is Mark Love with Transwest Truck Trailer RV. I believe you can get my contact information with the link there. So we're going to be showing you several other units as we go through here today. So once again, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.